evening, everybody. Welcome back to Gooner Gathering. Did that music play again? Technical issues my end, never. And here we are again. We're all feeling Christmassy and festive here on Gooner Gathering this evening. He's thrown me with a gimmick hat, which I didn't know was coming. I am Giddily Meach, joined by the poshest man in all of sports entertainment. Hello. You all right, Posh?
Hello, I'm doing great. Yes, it's Christmas week, I guess, this week. And of course, I was given this especially for this channel. It's got the Arsenal badge on and everything. So, ho cubed, everybody. Yes,
Absolutely.
I'm doing great. And I'm very pleased getting a good win on Sunday. AFC Always is in the chat again. Good to see you, sir.
Hello, mate. Welcome back, and always nice to see you. So let's jump into it, shall we? I'll tell you how we'll sort of play this tonight, ladies and gentlemen. We'll talk about the Champions League draw first and foremost, because that's today's news. We'll have a little look back at the Brighton game, and we'll see wherever else the chat will take us for this evening. Let's get into, if I can remember the button, there it is. I'm on it. The Champions League draw. Here we go. Technical prowess is my forte. Here we go. So there we go, ladies and gentlemen. As Postradamus could tell the future, he knew it was coming. I don't know how, but it's Porto in the next round.
I told people about Porto. I told people about Aston Villa. And it's worth noting, I'm not going to tell you whether we win the competition or not. I'm going to keep that a secret.
Okay.
Yes, Porto versus Arsenal. I take it the first leg will be away from home because of that.
I think so, mate.
Napoli versus Barcelona. That will be interesting. PSG versus Kieran Tierney's Real Sociedad. Inter Milan versus Atletico Madrid. PSV against Borussia Dortmund. Lazio against Bayern Munich. Copenhagen against the other team from Manchester that they're going to face, Manchester City. And Leipzig versus Real Madrid. There we go.
Fantastic. So, your thoughts on the draw? Hello, Emerson. Welcome into the chat. Your thoughts on Porto, then? I don't think that's a bad draw without taking them too lightly, if you understand what I mean. I think, yeah.
There's no easy games in the Champions League. Your bro is here. Nick Meadows in the chat. Look, you can't underestimate these teams in the knockout stage. When we get to the knockout stages of the Champions League, you may remember we faced a Portuguese team in the Europa League last season in Sporting Lisbon, and we got knocked out of the competition. So we can't underestimate these types of teams. Any game, any team, I think, in that pool was going to be difficult opponents, in my opinion, and that includes Copenhagen because they beat Man United. I know unless you're Liverpool, that's not a hard job to do, but I think it was still going to be tough because it's the Champions League and anything can happen. And AFC Always says Inter against Atletico Madrid stands out for me. Napoli and Barcelona as well looks quite interesting. Those are two tough teams. One of them's going to be knocked out. So that'll be interesting. And Nick Meadows says, I'd take that draw any day. It could have been worse, of course, but we can't underestimate teams like Porto.
So I was going to bring up the fact that Porto finished second in their group. In their group was Barcelona. So they are, they're creditable opponents. I had a quick look at their team's official lineup earlier on. One player did stand out for me, which was Pepe.
Yeah, I was thinking that. We face Sergio Ramos, and we're now facing Pepe. Oh, my word. It's like 2011 Real Madrid all over again.
Oh, certainly seasoned defenders there, my friend. They know how to do the job. They've been doing it for a long time. So,
that's...
Yeah, absolutely. But, it's an interesting draw. When does the that's for next year, isn't it? It's in January, is that right?
Yeah, it's going to be in March of 2024.
There we go. There you go.
The knockout stages. So plenty of time to prepare.
Absolutely. Time to concentrate on the league a little bit now. Then I would suggest. So perhaps maybe that's what we'll do. Actually, I would. We might as well talk about some of the other games. The one with Copenhagen and Manchester City, I think draw was very kind to City on that front. However, just bear in mind how difficult United did face it in Denmark. I would think, like you said, no one can be taken for granted.
Nick says we should definitely get through. On paper, yes. Obviously, Porto, I think, if we want to progress well in the Champions League, which I want us to do, we should be beating them. I want us to beat them. Hopefully we can. Because like I said, it could have been worse. Yeah. But then again, it's a lottery, these Champions League draws. We could have got PSG and we would have had to accept it. That would have been... So it's a lottery, really. 12th of February, first leg, or 13th. Which one do I believe? It's one of them. And the 21st of March at 8 p.m. Okay, I was still in the second leg. You'd like to think we get to the semi-finals. Good God Almighty! Who knows? I'd love it if that happens. We'll have to see. We'll have to see what happens.
I don't want to say something silly like that, and no offense, Nick, but I don't want to say something that will look at that and think that was a silly thing to say. Do you know what I mean? But
yeah, well, it's right. We're going to win it. Who's
going to win it?
Bellingham? Who's Jude Bellingham? Rubbish player. Mbappe, overrated.
Well, Christ. Yeah. I mean, the comparisons with Havertz winning it for Chelsea and Havertz playing in the Champions League this season are extraordinary. So who knows?
Chelsea faced Porto in 2021.
Yeah,
we won the whole thing. We faced
it
Porto.
Writes itself.
With Havertz in the team.
There you go. There you go. Let me just double check the comments, mate, because I've got a big old number in my thing there. There we go. Right. So let's see. I'm just glad Arsenal don't play on Valentine's Day. The missus wouldn't be happy. Yes, I know, mate. I know it's.
I don't have to worry about that. Right. So
it's still good. It's still good. You never know. And if you want to learn more about Posh's love life, go to tinder.com. No, I'm joking.
My love life is like Arsenal winning the league in the last 20 years. It's non-existent. Hey. Right.
It's a shame. It's a shame. Enough of this. It could go in all sorts of directions. Right. So let's concentrate. Hello, BX. Welcome. Concentrate on the league for a little bit now, shall we, mate? So let's talk about our Premier League match on Sunday, 2:00 kickoff. Not in front of the television cameras. That was a bit of a shame. But I had to watch West Ham instead, mate. It was a nightmare. But we'll get into that in a minute. I think there might be a name that I want to bring up in just a little bit. Let's talk about our starting 11 just quickly. What did you make of it? Any surprises there for you?
This was exactly the starting 11 I predicted, and probably the 11 I would have ended up starting. A lot of people said Trossard in the 29 role there, but we've got an informed goal machine at the moment, so we can't really drop him. I'll go through the team. We got David Raya in goal, Ben White at right back, Saliba and Gabriel as the centre back pairing, Zinchenko as the quote unquote left back, Odegaard, the birthday boy who tried so hard to get a goal, but the Brighton keeper doesn't like birthdays for some reason. Didn't let him have a goal. Declan Rice in midfield, man of the match again. The goal machine, the legend that is Kai Havertz in midfield as well.
He can't even say it with a straight face.
Saka, Martinelli, and Jesus up front. Right. Hello, Fresh 90Z. Good to see you. I think that's a new name in the chat.
It is. You could say it's a fresh name in the chat, mate, couldn't you?
There you go.
There you go.
I'm so sorry.
So I can't help it, mate. All right. Well, I will say before we get into this, there were reports that that Declan Rice was actually a poorly young man before the game. I didn't hear this prior. This has come out to me like today. So if the guy was quite sick the night before, it was quite a phenomenal performance in that midfield, don't you think? Just as a general, before we break it all down.
Yeah, I think if Rice was injured, it would have been a different game. I think that I do fear that we might rely on Declan Rice a bit too much in the midfield, almost as if we need a player like Thomas Partey or something. Maybe like we need to keep him.
Who?
I don't know. But Partey, sorry. I know.
Partey.
Yeah. Sorry, I'm posh. I can't help it. I pronounce Thomas's name like that. I think. So I'm glad that Declan Rice wasn't injured or unwell, because it would have been a different game if that was the case. And by God, Declan Rice once again, as per usual, he's my man of the match, absolutely bossing the midfield. 105 million is an absolute bargain. I'm waxing lyrical too much. If 29 scores 18 to 19 goals, I will call him by his name. Well, there you go. Listen,
We'll bring up some
the way
stats
things
in a
are
bit.
going at the moment, we'll get to him in a minute. I'm talking about how brilliant Declan Rice was. Very, very good player, and that's an understatement. Yeah, midfield general.
And in one of these games where I think you have to have someone concentrating in that midfield, when we spend so much of the game attacking, you do want to have players alert around the back just to make sure nothing gets through us, if you understand what I mean. There are a couple of instances I've seen where he put a stop to any sort of danger before it became any danger, if you get what I mean. Let's talk about a couple of chances in the first half, and I'll just bring up a general point about the first half in just a second. So, first sort of thing I want to talk about, we mentioned birthday boy Ødegaard had the first real effort to try and force an attempt on the goal. Ben White on the right-hand side set Ødegaard up, had a left-footed shot, really well struck, just wide on that first attack.
Yeah, that was our first major chance of the game, and it was a story of Ødegaard's game. Really, you definitely noticed him this time, but he kept wanting to have a lot of shots, want to get a goal on his birthday of all days, but it wasn't to be.
Yeah, that's right, and you make the point that I wanted you to make. That's very good. Well done. You read my mind.
There was a chance in the second half where he probably should have shot a little bit earlier, but he took his time more. That was in the second half.
I think I'll get to that in a minute because there's something else there. Second chance, really clear chance I felt here. This was a lovely little bit of play as well. That is the point I'm about to make, AFC always. Thank you. You're good as well, mate. You're very good. So Ødegaard set this bit of play up. Saka, it might have been a tad quiet. Mind you, he was kicked left, right and centre by James Milner. But there you are.
It's the only way you can stop him.
Yeah, well, this is absolutely true. But Saka managed to sort of get the ball sort of kind of past the goalkeeper, set Martinelli up. I don't know how we managed to get it over the bar, though. I'm pretty sure it would have been easier keeping it down. But then what do I know?
Yeah, I mean, I thought we should have easily been 1-0 up there. Again, it's wasting a lot of chances again. And I feared that at the end of the first half, I thought it's going to be like this all over again, where we just waste too many chances and just fail to score. Martinelli should have scored that. Lovely ball from Ødegaard to Saka, though. Was to feed Martinelli.
Really nicely done.
For some reason, Martinelli decided to miss it. It was not good from him. So
yeah, I do agree. Did it feel like we were so in control of the game that it was almost too easy? But then the hard bit about putting the ball in the net was just proving that step too far, and I felt your frustration during the actual match itself. Although we weren't, we were in conversation on the old Twitter machine. I just felt you were watching our chances or seeing our chances and getting a tad frustrated that maybe we weren't shooting early enough, or as
it's just wasting the way we take them. It just doesn't. I don't know how, but we just end up not making them. We don't find him in the back of the net. I thought Saka played well in the first half, though, although you kind of expect him to when he's up against 98-year-old James Milner. But I think
well for 98. I've got to say that, mate.
No, I think he did play well and he looked lively. It was a dominant display in both halves, but its chances in the first half not going in the back of the net, that was the problem for me.
Yeah. I mentioned a little bit ago how Declan Rice was in charge of a lot of situations, and this was almost reminiscent in the second half of Brighton's second goal against us in about 6 months ago when we did that chat along, where their goalkeeper gave the ball away this time. Declan Rice latched upon it before anybody else. A big extended boot got that ball under control. He played it to Saka. Then I would suggest maybe they were overplaying it a little bit. Saka's given it to Ødegaard. They're often accused of walking it in on this occasion. This is a chance they absolutely should have scored here.
De Zerbi said this was Arsenal's best performance against Brighton since he's been in charge. Was he in charge during the Carabao Cup game, or was that? It might have been.
Probably.
I think it was.
Because Harry Potter didn't last very long,
it should be because it was our first win against him. So I think he's got every right to say that. I think this was one of our best performances in the league this season in terms of dominance. But it's wasting chances that's stress. But in terms of possession, in terms of control, dominance on the ball, that was one of our best performances so far.
Absolutely.
In the league, anyway. Yeah.
Absolutely agree.
Best performance overall was the 6-0 against Lens.
Yeah, no, I get that, but in the Premier League itself, I get you. We didn't have to wait too long after this opportunity for our opening goal. Really straightforward goal, actually. Saka taking the corner, takes a bit of a header off of a Brighton defender, and there's Gabriel Jesus to nod it home at the far post. It doesn't get any simpler than that, does it?
It was an easy goal. I mean, it was one of the easiest goals I think he'll score in his career. But that's not a complaint. I was relieved that we put the ball in the net, and this was a vital goal to score, and we were winning 1-0. It was a deserved goal from us because we were the better team. From the first whistle in the first half to where we were in the second half when we scored. So got no complaints there. Easy goal from Jesus, and that's his third goal of the season in the Premier League. That is. A certain other Arsenal player has got 4 Premier League goals. AFC always says Brighton have been our bogey team. I mean, and it was good that we got a result against them. Some teams still can't beat their bogey team, like against Crystal Palace, for example. Yeah,
that's a good point as well. Maybe we'll talk about that in a little bit, perhaps. Corners all, just as a general thing in the season, have been quite successful for Arsenal. Another set piece goal we've just spoken about here. We could have very easily had another one. Martinelli this time taking a corner. Ben White with a flick header taken off the line by outstanding Lewis Dunk, who in the middle of their Brighton defence not even taking the mickey. I know we were having a little bit of banter on the old Twitter machine on that, but yeah, Lewis Dunk, bro.
Yeah, so
no, phenomenal.
First of all, there were times Brighton had a bit of a risky passes in defence. They were more ball playing in defence than we were. There were times where I thought, "Oh, he's going to give it away to one of us," but no, that wasn't. And but when you talk about last ditch defending, you get what you saw with Lewis Dunk, and I think, yeah, and I even said on Twitter, like, fair play to you. That was a very good last ditch clearance. That's something you'd expect someone like Saliba to do. So yeah, obviously it's disappointing that we didn't score from that corner, but credit where it's due. That was a vital clearance from Lewis Dunk there. So yeah, Dunk, bruh, he did it.
Making Arsenal fans cry, bro.
Making last-ditch headers, bro. Yeah.
Absolutely. Shall we explain this wrestling reference, or should we just carry on?
Let them be confused. Let them be
okay.
confused.
All right, we'll do that.
OSW review on YouTube. Check them out. They're brilliant.
They are fantastic. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. So, for all our dominance, just getting back into serious mode now, for all our dominance in the game, I haven't even spoken about a chance for Brighton, really, because literally up to this point, I don't think they had even a kick inside the Arsenal half. However, João Pedro managed to get the ball on the Brighton left wing. He managed to skip past Ben White and Pedro Gross, where everyone thought he'd scored. And it took, when I saw it on the replay, it took me a couple of seconds to realise that was the side netting. It wasn't quite the back of the net. But for all of our chances missed, that could have been the crucial moment, and we could have slipped up just like City did, just like Liverpool did against United yesterday.
Yeah, it was very much because I watched the game on a definitely legal stream when I had family members round. So yeah, my parents loved me yesterday. I think no, they understood. It's fine. I think that was a very much a heart in mouth moment for us. If this was, I mean, a few years ago, that would have gone in. You know, where we would have so much of the ball, we were in control, all of that. Their first shot on target, it would be, as I say, the most Arsenal thing to happen. And suddenly, like, there was, it's like a shooting star went by. I'm not talking about Vic and Bob. I mean an actual shooting star. And it was like, oh, I wish actually we don't bottle it for a change. And it happened. And it wasn't 1-1. Pascal Gross hit the side netting. It wasn't a gross moment for us.
It was a gross shot, I would say that much. But there you are. There we are. So, let's go into the question from Nick here. I've got something in my head here because I've got a certain Virgil van Dijk sphere in my head here. How much is Lewis Dunk? How much would he cost? Do you think he certainly add great depth and fit into well to the side? What do you think?
I mean, he's a better defender than Kivior, I think. But he's not been rumoured. He's not been linked, but that doesn't mean anything. I mean, like, I wouldn't mind. Obviously, he'll probably have to be a bench player though, because Saliba and Gabriel are going to be the main centre backs, and I think I'll get to your comment in a minute, AFC always.
Yeah,
but I think I don't think he'd want to be a bench player. That's the thing. So I don't know. It's but then again, we need good depth. We need very good depth. I mean, look at Man City. Well, Man City last season anyway. They had very good squad depth, and But yeah, so I wouldn't mind. He would cost. It would cost a fair few, though, but I think our main focus is on a striker. As AFC always says, Arsenal are pushing to sign Ivan Toney. If we sign him in January, we will win the league. Listen, we're going to have
dear.
to sell to buy, if that makes sense. And that's easier said than done. Obviously, we do need a striker. I've said this time and again. But yeah. Nick Meadows says Ivan Toney doesn't lift the bar enough. He's a very good striker, Nick. I know that people, for some reason, love and are obsessed with Eddie Nketiah, but I'm sorry, he's not good enough. And I think people like... we're going to have to sell to buy, even though it might affect our depth issues a little bit, to get someone like him. Because I reckon he'll go Tottenham in January if we're not careful. That's another Postradamus.
Right. Okay. Hold on just 1 second, sir. Right. I think we need to realise just how lucky we might be in terms of one Eddie Nketiah. Okay.
These five goals, 3 of them were at the hat trick against Sheffield United, and he's been missing ever since. Is that in all competitions? No, it's in the Premier League, that is.
That is Premier League stats only for this season. What I'll say this, he's had goal involvements, he's won penalties as well. And do you know what? He's actually had a phenomenal season in my eyes. Now, I know what you're saying. You're saying, oh, he's only got 5 goals. Now, listen, look at his stats there compared to Gabriel Jesus. Scored more than Gabriel Jesus. If Arsenal were to sell Nketiah with trying to get someone like Ivan Toney, say, let me finish, I'll get to you. Right? Ivan Toney, who has not played a competitive game for an awful long time, I think we all really need to think about how difficult it is to get a striker that is settled, happy, and getting some sort of figures in here. Do you understand what I mean? It's very easy to say, oh, I want to sell him and get him in without any guarantee of anything going right. Do you get me?
So first of all, the reason why Gabriel Jesus has probably scored less goals than Nketiah is because he was injured.
Yes, he did have an injury.
Of the season. That's why he's made less appearances and probably got less goals due to those lesser number of appearances than Nketiah. But yeah, that's what I think. But AFC always says Arsenal will sell Nketiah in January if they get... Mate, we'll be lucky to get 4 million for him. AFC always. David Moyes is a big fan of Nketiah, so please sign him.
Does he want to swap him with Mohamed Kudus?
Well, I think we do need... like I said, a striker is, I think, number 1 priority. But yeah, remember when I said that we needed him? I said I wanted to sign Kudus, and
yeah,
well, there you go. One of the signings of the season, I think.
We're sort of diverting off where I want to go, but we'll keep it here for a minute. I thought Kudus. I was watching the West Ham Wolves on actually a perfectly legal stream, so I was sort of doing a little bit of scouting and doing a few other things around here. So I thought Kudus was fantastic. He was playing up front, almost where Saka would play in terms of the way West Ham set up, right? So, and your point to me was, I would have taken him definitely at Arsenal, and I said, well, I don't see where he would fit in. Then you suggested he would probably go into the midfield role, and suggesting that he would have gone in ahead of Havertz. Am I correct?
So obviously, hindsight, we know that Kai Havertz is a massive goal machine now. But in the summer, we wouldn't have signed. If I was in charge, we wouldn't have signed Havertz. We would have either signed Kudus or Maddison instead. From what obviously hindsight's a wonderful thing. But look, Kudus is more of an attacking midfielder, and he can play on the... It's similar to Trossard, really. He can play on the wing, he can play in midfield. And I think he would have played where Havertz is if we signed him.
I think the words on your tweet I've actually written down in front of me. And it said to me with Kudus scoring the goal. You write, the blood on Edu's hand is getting thicker and thicker. Now, I kind of thought by that you had an eye on the West Ham game as well, and you're almost like peeking across the garden fence, looking at what the other people had to play with. You were looking at the other people's toys. And said, I want to play with that one.
So yeah, I wasn't watching the West Ham game, but I was, of course, on the Twitter machine, and I saw on Twitter, Kudus has got 2 goals. Meanwhile, we're drawing 0-0. And so that's what I kind of thought. Obviously, I do think though overall Kudus has had a better season than Havertz at the moment. Okay. So yeah,
I think Havertz even said it himself in the interview that the first month, I think I might have kind of predicted this a little bit early doors. It would take a little bit of a while to settle down, but I always backed him. You can look back on the channel and you can see that there was never any point, and I said, no, he's rubbish. I never said this. Did I, mate?
No, but you think Eddie Nketiah is good, so I wouldn't expect you to say that Havertz would be.
I'm glad you brought Nketiah up. I am glad.
Yeah.
Yeah, I am. I really am, because Nketiah's part in the second goal was absolutely phenomenal. Let's talk about the second goal, shall we? So again, we're referring back to Ødegaard, who was bossing it in the midfield in the creative sense of things. Managed to find Eddie Nketiah, whose run was powerful. He found a perfect through pass to Kai Havertz, and for me, as soon as Havertz got the ball, it was never in doubt where that ball was going. Great goal.
If this was before the Brentford game, you would have shot it straight at the goalkeeper. However, that's what one crucial goal can change your confidence. And I said this on Twitter as well. More active on Twitter than usual. A bit weird that. But my thoughts are that goal against Brentford that he scored, the crucial goal to send us top. That I don't think people can underestimate how much of a boost that was to him, how much of a massive confidence boost that was to him. And ever since then, he's actually been consistently putting in great performances. He even scored a couple goals as well, which absolutely, thank you. 29's goals have all been in the 80-plus minutes mark. It's crucial times to score, especially if you're losing. So, but yeah, look, I think ever since he scored the goal against Brentford, he's actually not been that bad. He's been putting in consistently good performances. He was our best player against Aston Villa. Yes, I know we lost, but it's quite interesting to see how he was the one that looked good. Nketiah's got more goals than him. Okay, maybe I'm.
Well, I thought it was interesting.
But Nketiah's a striker and Havertz is a midfielder.
Yeah, I suppose so. But I just thought it's interesting just to see their goal involvement as a whole, as the pair of them as well. The much maligned, perhaps by my illustrious colleague, it was quite funny for me just to see. Oh wow, look, Bosch is going to love this, and he's going to love talking about this.
You should do that and compare Havertz and Jesus, because I think Kai's got more Premier League goals. He's got 4. Jesus has got 3, I think.
Well, Jesus' figures are on this one as well. So
yeah, 3 goals, and Havertz has got 4.
There you
He's
go.
Got more Premier League goals than Jesus. Oh,
there you go. I tell you what,
he's a striker we've wanted. No, listen, I think again, ever since the Brentford goal, he's actually been very good. And yeah, that's what one crucial goal can do to your confidence.
Yeah, absolutely. And like we said, there've been crucial goals. There've been the late goals, as AFC always just commented a bit ago. Sorry, the comments have just come off my screen. There we go. The opening goal in the Champions League game we've spoken about. He's been busy. It's been noticeable, and like you said, it's funny that little bit of confidence does breed more confidence, and he's feeling very much at home. And well, it'll be very interesting when we come to the end of the season to find out who's going to be the top goal scorer
out of Jesus or Havertz.
Eddie, he's still there?
No, we would have sold him for a different striker. That's too
No.
late now. All competitions, I said,
I'm
for me to
joking.
shave
I'm
the head off.
joking.
And we were out of the Carabao Cup in the 4th round with Nketiah scoring 0 goals. So my head will not be shaved.
It's a shame.
Sorry.
But,
you ain't getting bald Bertie today.
No bald
or any
Bertie.
other day, hopefully.
Fair enough. Is there anything else you wanted to bring up on the Brighton game at all, mate? Because I think we've pretty much covered it. Anything?
Other than we were, I think we're still top now. After Liverpool's draw, we were top until Friday when Aston Villa play Sheffield United. I'll be honest, Villa should be beating Sheffield United, and if they do, they go top of the league.
Who would have thought it?
You go, Michelle Arteta. Who's she?
Well, I'm confused, Nick. Who's Michelle?
There's always next season to shave your hair. No. If Havertz scores more goals a season than Thierry Henry did, then I'll. No, I won't.
You said it on the stream.
I won't. Yes, and I won't.
Oh, yes, it's actually his wife. There you go. Apparently. Oh, Villa at home against Sheffield United.
Yeah, they're at home, so you should expect them to win. So they'll go top. Unai Emery is going to go top of the league on Friday, at least briefly, depending on what the result is at Anfield.
So that's funny enough where I want to go next. I want to talk very, very briefly about...
Oh, yeah, he got booked again because he waved his hands around.
Apparently, he can't wave at Martinelli, apparently, or celebrate it. So, have another yellow card. Is he on course to getting the same amount of yellow cards as Xhaka was?
Oh, my God. Who's going to get more yellow cards? Wow. There you go.
There we are. Oh, what I was going to say. I want to go talk about Anfield yesterday really briefly.
Yeah.
Do you remember going back a little bit when Martinelli got them 2 yellow cards very, very quickly, which turned into a red card in about one period of play?
When was this?
Was it against Wolves, I think?
Yeah. Was it? We were down to like 9 men, I remember. Yeah.
Yeah.
Those were the lockdown days. Hopefully we never go back to those days watching Arsenal.
Yeah. Thank you, Nick. I was right against Wolves. Thanks, mate. So, Diego Dalot, in the dying moments of the game at Anfield yesterday, got done by the same referee that did that to Martinelli. Did you see this incident where he was protesting a decision and it was dissent. I think it was a yellow card, but the referee got a little bit card happy, in my opinion. What did you think about this?
I didn't know it was the same referee with Martinelli. But yeah, it certainly came out of nowhere. It livened that game up a bit because apparently I didn't focus too much on it because I had family around.
Right.
But some of us were watching it. But it was a bit of a boring game from what I heard. It wasn't the most exciting games to watch compared to last season. But that one-sided masterclass. But no, and then suddenly out of nowhere, like an RKO, United player gets sent off. So
it was just like, what happened there? I think it was the same ref as well, Nick. I'm sure it was. Having done my research, I'm the one who does the research, you see. I'm like, Anna Pasha, to be fair. Can we see your notes again? I'm the professional one. Well, dear me. So, okay, fair enough. So Nick makes the point saying the refereeing in the Premier League is awful. I agree. It seems like we always talk about something every week.
We didn't have any dodgy refereeing decisions this week, so hopefully I can avoid talking about it. Talking about referees to me is what talking about Ivan Toney is to you. I'm sick of hearing it.
Yeah.
Yeah, and thankfully we didn't have any dodgy. Well, Arteta got booked, but in terms of on the field anyway,
On the field,
we didn't have any dodgy decisions against us, which meant a bit of a more quiet day on social media for Arsenal fans. Although I will say, it won't be a Gooner Gathering stream without me criticising Arsenal fans on Twitter. I'm a bit sceptical of them all going, "Oh, we got Porto in the Champions League. It's easy. It's all great." I said, don't underestimate them. Remember, we faced Sporting Lisbon in the Europa League, lost on penalties. Don't treat it like it's a cakewalk, because it's the Champions League and knockout football, anything can happen. So, yeah.
I just want to check something on the fixture list. If you read that comment out for me, mate.
But AFC Always has got his grapefruits out. He's saying, we will beat Liverpool if they play like they did yesterday. Yeah, I mean, we've got to hope for another Havertz masterclass, eh? Yeah, look, Anfield's always going to be tough for us to go to. We haven't won at Anfield since 2012. Podolski and Cazorla got the 2 goals. See, I do my research here. I remember.
Good man. Well done.
That was when we had that weird purple and black striped kit.
Oh goodness, you're right. No, yes, I remember it.
Fair enough. That was the last time we played at Anfield. So it'll be very good.
Last time we got a win at Anfield,
we beat Man City for the first time in a while this season. Be nice if we can go to Anfield and win. That would be another massive statement from us.
We came so close, didn't we, last season as well? 2-0 up, and there's a moment my eyes just got absolutely wide, and I'm thinking all of a sudden that moment, there's a moment in that where that second goal was, up the Spurs. Good evening, hello. Welcome.
How dare you say such
no, everyone's welcome. Everybody is welcome in this stream as long as they hit the buttons and say hello to everybody like you've done there, and you've hit the like button and you subscribe. Everyone's welcome to say what they want to say within the PG barriers. All right, that's fair enough, isn't it? We're going to have fans from other clubs here. It's just how it is. It's YouTube. It's all good. It's all good. Right. I've just had a quick look at the fixture list, mate, because there's actually a game at Anfield before us, and they play that very impressive West Ham side in the Carabao Cup on Wednesday. So, would you have any bold predictions about how strong they were? Oh, fair enough.
I was trying to get a rise. I'm a Bradford fan. Remember 2013? I remember 2013. I wanted you guys to win that competition as well, and Swansea had to ruin it.
They did. It's sports, aren't they, the Swans? Never mind. It's nice seeing new names.
It well.
I just said it's nice. I was going to say it's nice seeing new names. It's lovely seeing old names in the chat as well. Niall Kane is in here, and so he says, "Big up, lads. Great. You got to beat Liverpool. Yeah, good game was there. We was there, right? God, that was amazing. Right. Do you know what? Sometimes the chat will take over, and then I don't know where I am.
I'll take care of the chat. You can talk about the fixture coming up.
So I was going to say, any thoughts about Liverpool and how they're going to line up in terms of their prediction? You know, in their starting 11. Bear in mind the big game in the Premier League on Saturday. Yeah, it is Saturday. It's Saturday tea time. So the 5:30 kickoff. So, the thoughts on the Liverpool side, just briefly?
Yeah, so I think they will go with a bit of a rotated squad. It'll be interesting to see what West Ham go with, because when they pretty much played their full squad, apart from Fabianski in goal, but they played a good side against us, and we heavily rotated. We got absolutely torn apart. But they had the home advantage. They go to Anfield. I don't know. It'll be interesting to see what the result is. And I think if Liverpool end up losing to West Ham, they'll be out for blood, I think, and they've just happened to have us. So I think whatever happens, I think Liverpool will be back with a vengeance. We talked about Porto early on in the video, so if you want to just go back, and hear our thoughts on that.
Absolutely. It's the first thing we spoke about tonight was the Champions League draw. So, there's that. Well, shall we plug the Saturday stream now, mate? Because we might as well. We might as well. Hopefully, I can get back home from work on that. It's going to be a tad tricky, but if I don't manage to make it, Posh Bertie will be here. Or what do you want to start at 5:15 like we normally do for that? Time?
Yeah. If you can't make it in time, I'll start off.
Yeah,
it's fine.
Absolutely, we'll be bringing our first live match to you for a little while, actually. So that should be really good.
So just a couple of things. When we've done watch-alongs, our performances haven't been the best.
Right.
When we haven't done watch-alongs, our performances have been good. Arsenal's last 3 losses have been 5:30 kickoffs. We go to Anfield at a 5:30 kickoff, and we're doing a watch-along. So tune in to Gooner Gathering to watch Arsenal fans suffer when Aston Villa remain top of the Premier League. Good evening, everybody. Arsenal, AFC always says, if Partey is fit, would you start him alongside Rice in the double pivot against Liverpool? I don't think he will be ready in time. I've not heard. I know he's on track.
Twitter rumours about it. I've heard Twitter rumours, but heck of a game to go back to. I'd be wanting to play Jorginho, but obviously there was an issue with Jorginho over the weekend. He wasn't even on the bench. Don't jinx it, guys.
Ostradamus. No,
will we be celebrating too?
No, as Postradamus, he knows the result, but he's not going to tell anyone. But no, I think we'll see if Partey gets fully fit, but by that time he'll be off again for AFCON, which is annoying.
Like you preempted what my brother was going to say, mate.
As Nick Meadows says, however, I will still keep him because right, if Declan Rice gets injured, what happens now? He'll be back to, it's like last season where not last season, 2 seasons ago, where Partey got injured and we really missed him. And we could cope with Partey being injured because we got Declan Rice. I know he rarely gets injured, but what if he does? He's had a few scares this season already. Partey injury wasn't as bad as they say. He was out. Well, he got injured.
He's been out a long time.
September. Been out a long time. But I tell you, a player who might be coming back from injury soon, and it's one Mr. Timber. Should you bring the segue in? You want to talk about Timber?
Yeah, can do. Thank you very much. So, a little bit of a rumor going around, and it is to be taken with a pinch of salt, really. Yeah, that we're hearing that. I think it's after the Liverpool game in the Cup. So they're going to do the 3rd round, and then I think they're going to have a little bit of a break, like the winter break that we're going to do, and they're going to go and do some warm weather training, presumably in Spain or somewhere like that, I think. Wherever they go, I'm not sure. But they're talking about the possibility of Timber maybe travelling with the lads, just seeing how he gets on. Maybe, I mean, this seems quite optimistic for being that it's 5-6 months into an ACL tear. And bear in mind, I follow the ladies' game very, very closely, and like Beth Mead, Vivian Miedemar, Leah Williamson have all been out for a very, very long time. It seems very, very optimistic, but they're thinking about maybe if he's ready to go. I think, did they talk about the Palace game potentially on that thing I sent to you? I think it was.
Okay. I mean, look, ACLs are no joke. They're everywhere, really. I'll throw in another wrestling reference. Charlotte Flair.
Just done a knee injury.
It was announced ACL injury.
Oh, it's an ACL with Flair.
Right. Yeah, ACL out for 9 months.
Yeah.
But yeah. Look, ACLs are no joke. I think Matt Roberts said it on the old WhatsApp group. He said, I wouldn't risk playing him as early as can be. I would not. I love Timber. The times he's been playing for us, he was brilliant. but that's why we need to proceed with a lot of caution when it comes to him. I don't want him to get another injury, so I'm not going to risk him the very moment he's like, his health bar goes from red to orange. It's not worth it. I think if it was FIFA, or Football Manager, it'd be 75% or whatever it is. No,
retro Football Manager.
We haven't done that in a while. Here you go.
No,
play it.
There we go. I've actually been in touch with them. They said we've downloaded about three streams, so 3 people have downloaded it from the link. So that might be £1.50 if anyone's interested. If anyone wants to play a game,
magic number.
Absolutely. But if anyone wants to play that game, by the way, I haven't got the link straight away. But what I will do, I'll put it in the description later on. If anyone wants to go play a game, it's a free download, and it helps the channel out a little bit. So if you're interested in doing that, you can go ahead and do so.
But like I said, I wouldn't play Timber immediately when he's like the one moment. No, I'd just gradually ease him in because you don't want to take any risks with a player that's come back, a player as good as Timber who's come back from an ACL injury.
Absolutely. So I think we've covered everything on our schedule this evening, sir. Do you think any more to add before we clear out for this evening?
Well, other than the fact that Gooner Gathering now has an Instagram account, yours truly is the man running it. So you can follow us now on Instagram at Gooner Gathering. There is one. I don't know if you've seen it, but there is one picture up there of saying "Welcome to the Gooner Gathering Instagram account."
Look at them! Look at them handsome lads.
Where are they? Oh, there's one there. There he is. But yeah, I think lots of people that we know follow the page already. Sam, Matt follows us. Sophie, Gooner Gossip TV, follows us as well and liked the photo. So very nice of her.
Oh, how amazing! So
follow Gooner Gathering on Instagram.
We'll have to add that to the social media bar, which happens to be here. So other than the Instagram, sir, where else can they find you?
You can follow me on Twitter at Posh Bertie. My Instagrams are at Bertie Wanless and at Gooner Gathering.
Thank you very much. And you can find me at Goonerly Meads. You can find me and all the team at Gooner Gathering on X. Keep your eye on the social medias because we may be back sooner than you think, potentially with a guest. But we'll let you know what is happening and when it's going to happen. That'll be before the Liverpool game. But just wanted to check, look, because there looks like on my end there's another comment come up. You got a comment, Emmy?
Yeah, AFC always has a question for us. Will Timber be the same player after suffering from ACL? Some players are never the same from that type of injury. I don't know. Believe it or not, I know this is a gimmick, but I genuinely can't see into the future, so I don't know what's going to happen. Look, I hope he will be because he was so good for us when he signed and then when he debuted. I hope he does become. He hope he's all right because there was questions on whether Saliba would be the same player he was when he recovered from the back injury, and he has been. So fingers crossed, the same happens with Timber.
And it's funny with Saliba's injury, and he came back completely out of the blue. It caught me by surprise that very sunny day in pre-season, so much as I went live just in town on an outside broadcast. So look, I really sincerely hope he does come back and does well because he made such an impression on us, didn't he? Before the Community Shield. During the Community Shield, he was outstanding. For the 45 minutes or so he played against Forest, he did quite well. But look, let's hope so. Let's hope so. I think we've covered everything that we need to do, guys. So I think I think AFC always is trying to keep us on air, mate. I think that's what he's trying to do here. I see what you're doing. Gabriel's got to be Arteta's biggest signing. Oh, there you go.
I was about to say Saliba, but that was Unai Emery who signed him. But it felt like a new signing when he actually consistently played for once. I think Declan Rice at the moment has been Arteta's best signing. And Timbers
the famous Meadow sense of humour, everybody. You got to love it. It's all in the genes, mate. That's what it is. That's what you got to put up with us, mate. You know this.
All those dad jokes. And
absolutely.
Of course, we all know when a dad joke becomes a dad joke. It's when it becomes apparent. Can we go off air now, please?
We're off after that bombshell of a joke, everyone. Enjoy the rest of your evening, guys. Look after yourself, and we shall see you very, very soon.